How are you today? We are so excited that you are joining us at the graphic novel stage for an ALA annual event for 2021. Again, we miss you. We are so sorry that we are not together. This is 2 years in a row where we are not in Chicago together, and we are disappointed, but we still have a lot of great programming for you. And this one is no different. I'm here today with Ben Applegate, who will introduce himself in a second. And I just want to remind you that I'm Kelly Coyle-Crivelli from the Penguin Random House Library Marketing Team. We are going to be talking about manga today. All manga, all the time. Ben is going to be kind enough to give a little overview of what's going on in the marketplace, talk to you about some great titles coming up from Kodansha and Vertical. And then when he's done, I'll come back on and talk about some of the other exciting manga titles that we have for you. We know manga is hugely popular right now, so we want to give you as much information as we possibly can in the short amount of time that we have. So because of that, I will stop talking. I'll turn it over to Ben, and I'll see you back in a little while. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you so much, Kelly. My name is Ben Applegate. I'm the Director of Publishing Services for the Kodansha print program. And I am so grateful to have this opportunity to speak to all of you today. I really, really miss ALA in person, and I know that we'll be back together very, very soon. But I miss the energy of ALA and of conventions and fandom in general. And librarians are always some of our most wonderful supporters. So looking forward to seeing you again in person very soon. In the meantime, I should mention that we have been doing very successful manga book buzzes focused on Kodansha's titles, but also with a little bit of market updates too. Every 4 months, we did our first one last year, towards the end of last year. We had our second one in January and our third in May. And we're planning to keep them going with another in September. So if you are interested, I encourage you to check those out. And I have some big news on the Kodansha front before I get into the manga marketplace in general. Some of you may, I'm sure all of you are familiar with the Kodansha Comics, Kodansha International, Vertical Inc., and Vertical Comics imprints. Well, you may notice that, you may have noticed if you're online a lot, that those 4 imprints are now all one, which is just Kodansha. It's a over 100-year-old brand in Japan. It's Japan's largest trade publisher, and this is their first major rebranding ever. It's an indication, I think, of how important the global market has been for Kodansha. That's just me saying that. I don't know that for sure, but I certainly would like to believe it. And we're very, very excited to continue bringing you the same great content that we've been able to bring you so far. Now to talk a little bit about manga in 2021. As most of you know, manga had a banner year in 2020 after a approximately 6-week slump during the peak COVID period. It shot up as folks started getting into anime and manga online communities. You can see that line at the top on the right. That is the 2020 weekly units sold. And you can see we had our best holiday season in recent memory. Well, we stayed at the holiday level and exceeded it. As you can see on the left, the number at the top, or the line at the top there, those are 2021 sales figures, and they are completely unprecedented. We've seen some weeks quadruple our sales that week on the week the previous year, and that's not even accounting, that's even after you compensate for the COVID slump, which you can see down there in the lower left. It's truly remarkable. I think there's a lot of different factors in play here. The number one is certainly the fact that folks are online, stuck at home, and manga and anime fan communities have always organized themselves online. There's an equally unprecedented boom happening in anime streaming right now. So Netflix, Crunchyroll, Funimation, Hulu, all of these platforms where anime lives have been doing very, very well with that content, and a lot of those anime have corresponding manga. So those are the folks who are coming in the doors, hopefully physically now or soon, but certainly digitally, looking for that manga content. And of course, it's very easy to keep an anime streaming window up behind your distance learning. I always remind people. So it's sad, sad but true. Sad for the teachers, but happy for manga and anime folks like me. Um, and I just want to go into a couple of the biggest beneficiaries of this boom for Kodansha. Of course, the number one has been Attack on Titan. This sales juggernaut has been a massive, massive franchise ever since the anime started premiering way back in 2013. Hard to believe, but now the manga is finally coming to an end this year with volume 34. And the anime is also having its final season run this year as well. And that's brought a whole new generation of readers to the franchise. I think an indication that this really is a large group of new readers is that Attack on Titan 1 has been our best-selling volume. So a lot of folks coming into the series for the first time. Wodokoi, Love is Hard for Otaku, is number 2. This is a romance comedy. Fire Force is another Toonami anime title. Rent a Girlfriend was our big hit of last year. That's a 16 plus kind of rom-com. Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. This one has an anime that's just preparing right now. And if you're hearing a lot about anime right now, it's because another reason for the big bump in 2021 is that there were a lot of anime productions that were supposed to come out in 2020, but because of the pandemic, ended up being delayed into 2021. So the schedule in the winter season from January to March, and then the spring season from April to June has been packed with content. Rounding out the list here, Vinland Saga, another anime title from several years ago, The Seven Deadly Sins, which is a Netflix title, The Quintessential Quintuplets, Parasite, and A Silent Voice. So as you can see, this is very backlist driven. A lot of these series have been out for a while, but we do think that there are new audiences coming to these. And if you've heard Kristen McLean's presentations on the BookScan numbers for manga over the past year, you've heard her talk about how the top growing DMAs, the market areas in the US for manga are not San Francisco, LA, New York City, not these areas that we would commonly associate with having a lot of manga, pre-existing manga fans. There are places like suburban Texas, places that really don't have that pre-existing huge base of fans, which indicates that these are new groups of fans coming into the material. And that's really why folks like me are very optimistic about the future for the category, because even after hopefully and we get to a critical mass of vaccinations and things start to get back to a new normal, some of those folks are going to stick around. Up next, this is just rounding out the list of the 2021 bestsellers so far. Hitorejime My Hero, the BL Yaoi series. Blood on the Tracks is a new series from Shuzo Oshimi, the creator of Happiness and Flowers of Evil. Cells at Work, a classic set inside the human body, which is actually coming to an end this year. Noragami Stray God, Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest is the sequel to the best-selling Fairy Tale, which ran for 43 volumes and was very successful. Shaman King Omnibus. This is coming out in print and in digital alongside a brand new anime adaptation running this year. Some of you may remember this title from the 2000s. Sailor Moon Eternal Edition is our beautiful premium paperback reissue of Sailor Moon with all the color pages and holographic coding, which is coming to an end this year with the reissue of the codename Sailor V prequel series. Dissolving Classroom from the great Junji Ito, of course, Akira, and A Sign of Affection, the romantic manga about a deaf college student who bumps into a guy on the train and is immediately smitten. This one was actually written in collaboration with an expert in Japanese Sign Language. It makes it a very special title to me. I think it's a really wonderful example of three-dimensional character building that goes beyond just the top line of, having a deaf character. They really are very well fleshed out, and the visual storytelling is beautiful too. I mentioned Cells at Work, but I want to talk about it a little bit more. As I said, it is coming to an end this year. Volume 6 will be the final volume. And in that volume will be a couple of chapters intended to help combat the spread of COVID-19. These were released online in Japan in association with the Japanese government, as a matter of fact, on YouTube. And those will be compiled in our volume. We are also publishing Cells at Work Baby, a spin-off series in print. This one is all ages and is incredibly adorable. The chapter 1 is about labor, and it shows all the little baby cells running around wondering what all the tremors are. You get a glimpse of the placenta with the grown-up blood cells handing the oxygen over, across the barrier. Extremely adorable. We also published the 18+ spin-off Cells at Work Code Black, which got an anime adaptation last year and has been very popular. That one is also coming to an end this year. But unlike Code Black, Baby is all ages, as I mentioned. We're also going back into our back catalog. We're mindful of the fact that our backlist has been such a wonderful source of new interest for readers this year, and we're reissuing some of the classics in new formats. The number one piece of news here is Attack on Titan. We will be issuing that series in 3-in-1 omnibus paperbacks starting in October. These will be in the A5 size, so in the slightly larger manga paperback size that some of you may have become accustomed to for our $12.99 priced books. And these covers will actually have sculpted embossing on the covers. Similarly, the 7 Deadly Sins will have 3-in-1 omnibuses, 600 pages each, starting in October. And those will also be in A5 size. Meanwhile, Battle Angel Elita is returning to paperback after a long hiatus. Previously, this series has only been available in hardcover. We're publishing the sequel series in paperback, but the deluxe editions were the only ways to get the original series on which the Hollywood action film, of course, was based a couple of years ago. These paperbacks will be about 300 pages long and will be starting in July. There's going to be 6 of them total. These are a wonderfully convenient and portable way to access these series, which previously were only accessible either in hyper premium editions like the deluxe editions of Elita and the colossal editions of Attack on Titan, or in the regular individual volumes. So these promise to make these series much easier to shelve for all of you. Rounding out the omnibuses, we are issuing our first shoujo omnibuses in quite a long time. That Wolf Boy Is Mine and Love in Focus are the 2 finished series by Yoko Nogiri, all of whose series released so far in English have been YALSA Great Graphic Novels for Teens picks and have been wonderfully supported by libraries, and we truly do appreciate that so much. That Wolf Boy Is Mine will be coming out in 2 400-page 2-in-1 volumes, and Love in Focus is only 3 volumes to begin with, so that's actually going to be a complete graphic novel style reissue, all in 1 volume. Yoko Nogiri also has a brand new series starting this year called Those Not So Sweet Boys, which is available now. Now I'd like to get into what to expect for the summer and the fall. And although the focus, I know, in so much of this discourse about manga has been on the backlist, I think our front list is the most exciting that it's ever been. Starting off with a title that I am extremely excited to talk about, Boys Run the Riot. If you haven't heard about this series yet, you will. It's about a transgender teen named Ryo who does not feel at home in his school uniform, of course. And the only escape that he has from the anxieties of his daily life is street fashion. So shopping in Tokyo's vibrant street fashion scene and imagining his own clothes. He meets another boy in his class who looks like kind of a delinquent and who people avoid and actually looks kind of scary. But learns that on the inside, he's also a striver, and the 2 of them get together to create their own street fashion brand. This 4-volume series was created by a trans creator in Japan, and is just a singular release in the Japanese manga market, and is going to be just as unique in the global manga market. I'm also very proud to say that we were able to have this series translated, lettered, and edited by an all-trans team of manga professionals, for which credit goes entirely to Tiff Joshua Ferrantini, the wonderful editor on our team, who has really shepherded this title to make sure that it is done right. Also, volumes 2 through 4 will feature new illustrations by the author created for our covers, which is extremely exciting. And those are going to be released soon. This got a shout out in a Publishers Weekly article recently, and I think buzz is only going to build for this one. Look for this volume 1 coming out at the end of May, just in time for Pride Month. Up next, we have a bunch of fantasies and supernatural stories coming out, which are always fun. Number one, Peach Boy Riverside. This is getting an anime this year, and so you will probably be hearing more about this one. It's set in a fantasy world where there's a kind of twisted fairy tale take on the Peach Boy myth, the Momotaro myth, if any of you are familiar with that one. So there's a lot of ogre slaying in this, and Peach Boy enjoys the ogre slaying maybe a little bit too much. It really is a lot of fun. The Hero Life of a Self-Proclaimed Mediocre Demon is a digital first title coming to print in October. This does not have an anime support, but it has been one of Kodansha's top-selling digital titles. So I encourage you not to miss out on this one. I think people are going to want this one. Beauty and the Beast of Paradise Lost is the latest from Kaoru, the creator of Angel Sanctuary, among many, many, many others, recently Alice in Murderland. And similar to Alice, this is another twisted fairy tale take on the Beauty and the Beast story. As you can see, the art is exquisite, and there's kind of an element of like multi-dimensional travel, Howl's Moving Castle kind of stuff in there too. And on the far right, Vampire Dormitory is another digital first, which is coming to print in October. This one from Emma Toyama, another very prolific author who you might know from Kitchen Princess or Arisa. Also coming up soon, Ciguatera is from the creator of Ping Pong Club. I was shocked to learn that this was actually his first title of it to be available in English. It's extremely difficult to describe, but if you have enjoyed Vertical Comics' other seinen coming-of-age tales, highly recommend you check this one out. Pretty Boy Detective Club is getting a manga adaptation. This is a novel from the creator of Bakemonogatari Nishio Oishin. This manga adaptation, as you can see, has really adorable art and a fun mystery story. That's coming in July. And in the middle is a one-shot, all-in-one volume called Emma Dreams of Stars, which is a collaboration with the Michelin Guide. The story follows Emma, who you can see there on the cover, as she travels around reviewing restaurants for the Michelin Guide. This was a very unique project that was a big hit in Japan, and we have high expectations for it here as well. One that is not on this slide and that I wanted to make sure to mention, by the way, we just announced our first Usamu Tezuka license in quite a while. Tezuka, of course, the god of manga, is the creator of Buddha, Odikirihito, Mu, among many others. And we will be publishing Bomba, which is a Tezuka work about a boy who can summon a vengeful ghost horse. I just love saying those words. I'm sorry. I love Tezuka so much. And you can look for that one coming up, I believe, early next year. We also have a slew of romance titles coming out. I mentioned that Hitorejime My Hero is still doing extremely well for us, despite the fact that it is several years old and the anime ran on Amazon, I think, as far back as 2016. It's still one of our top sellers. So we'll be publishing Hitorejime Boyfriend, which actually was the original one-shot, and Hitorejime My Hero was a spin-off of this book. But this is all in one story in one book, and fans of that are going to be sure to rush to pick that up. My Summer Review is a new BL yaoi series, only 2 volumes, very kind of sweet, slow, relaxing read about 2 high school boys who fall in love over their common love of cinema. So you can see the film strip in the corner there. That is 2 volumes, as I mentioned, and is coming this year. Rent a Really Shy Girlfriend is a spinoff of Rent a Girlfriend that focuses on the character of Sumi, who you can see there on the cover. And she suffers from extreme social anxiety. So each chapter is about her attempting to push herself to get back out into the world, like going to the donut store and buying a donut. That's a whole chapter. It's very, very funny, and I think having to push yourself to get back out into the world is something we can all probably identify with this year. This is from the original creator, Reiji Miyajima. So this is definitely one people are going to want to check out if that series is doing well for you. And on the far right, When Will Ayumu Make His Move is a series from the creator of Teasing Master Takagi-san. And you can see some stylistic cues and similar with that, in common with that series and with stuff like Miss Nagatoro. This is about a shogi club, so a Japanese chess club at a high school that has 2 members. the president, who you can see there in the middle of the cover, and the only other member is this boy who has a crush on her. But he has made a solemn vow not to confess his crush until he's able to beat her at shogi. Meanwhile, she thinks it's totally obvious that he likes her and wonders why he won't say it. So she's constantly trying to trick him into confessing to his feelings. But he's made this solemn vow that he won't confess until he can beat her. The problem is he really, really sucks. So the world gradually does broaden out and more characters come in, but this one got a great reaction when we announced it on social media a few months ago, and we're looking forward to that one. Okay, up next. Oh, that was it. Well, normally this would be where I would say I'll take your questions, but unfortunately I can't do that. However, I do encourage you to follow our social media, Kodansha Manga and Kodansha Books. And if you do have questions, our book buzzes every 4 months, our live events, and we would be delighted to hear from you. And I hope to see you in person next year.
Thanks, Ben. That was fun. I have questions about your vengeful ghost horse. We don't ever say that phrase in a regular book buzz when we're talking about our regular fiction or nonfiction titles.
That's why my job is so much fun.
It is fun. And Ben's a really shy girlfriend. I love that concept. I might have to check that out myself. That was fun. Thank you so much. I'm going to switch PowerPoints here while we're going on to some other titles for you. So just bear with us for 1 second. Thank you very much, Ben. Let's see. Always fun to share files and upload them. Just give me 1 second. Let's see. That was fun. We definitely learned a lot more than I thought. I never thought about a Japanese sign language, a manga book based on a Japanese sign language. That was fun. And you can see why manga is so popular. It's so clever and so creative with the growing of anime. And we're very happy to be talking about some of our other titles today. Sorry, I'm just a little slow at this. Also, I loved how Ben said that manga fits. It's a good distraction for distance learning. Something else to stick in your book when your teacher thinks that when thinks they're listening. I don't think any teachers really think their students are listening to them anymore. I think that my son has been, I think he's watching his classroom online and he's really playing the video game, and they've really, really learned, at least they've learned how clever our children really are at, sneaking around and doing what they're not supposed to be doing. So anyway, again, this is just our intro slide. I'll skip this. Before I get into the titles, I just want to remind you that every month we have our morning book buzz. This is when we talk about our titles and some of our hottest genres. We don't ever say phrases like vengeful horse ghost or adorable placenta, like Ben was saying in his manga description before, but we do talk about books we're excited about. So we encourage all of you to sign up for it if you haven't already. And every once in a while, we do have some fun things for our fandom fans as well. And just that our story time has been extended. All right. Oh, one fun thing we have is our ultimate manga match quiz. And I hope that you will try it. We sent it out in our newsletter, and we'll send you the tiny URL in the handout as well. But this is fun. If you don't know where to go with your manga, you can dip in here. And so now on to the titles, just a couple more from me. Berserk Deluxe Volume 8 is from Dark Horse Manga, which at Penguin Random House, we are very fortunate to have some fun client publishers. Kodansha and Vertical are some of those publishers, and so is Dark Horse, and this is a Dark Horse manga title. And this is Berserk Deluxe Volume 8. It is over almost 2 million copies of Dark Horse Berserk have sold. So this is bringing together in a new volume the volumes 22 to 24, which we think works better for the library market when you collect the editions like this. Next up from Square Enix Manga is Soul Eater: The Perfect Edition 4. Soul Eater is an international bestseller with nearly 20 million copies sold worldwide. I mean, this audience is just huge. Experience the quirky, action-packed adventures of Maka and Soul Eater like never before with this all-new deluxe collector's edition The series is about a weapon master at the Death Weapon Master Academy, and he has but one goal in life: to successfully evolve into a living scythe partner. This is a really fun manga, and it's fantasy, and with the readers out there, they know what they're looking for. So here's a new edition of Soul Eater. Monster Masumi, the novel. Monster Girls on the Job. This is about when a 20-something Karusu became an involuntary, I love that, an involuntary volunteer. We all have had that happen to us before. In the government homestay program for monster girls, his world was turned upside down. A lamia named Mia was sent to live with him, and it's Kimahoto's job to make sure the sexy snake girl integrates into everyday life. In this novel spinoff, a new program hopes to give monster girls experience in the working world, leading to on-the-job shenanigans and all new hilarity. So we are excited about this novel from Airship. Next up from Seven Seas is The Ancient Magus Bride, Volume 15. The New York Times best-selling series about a gifted young girl and the sorcerer who takes her in. And again, it's inspired by another hit anime. Hadori Chisei has lived a life full of neglect and abuse, devoid of anything resembling love. Far from the warmth of family, she has had her share of troubles and pitfalls. Just when all hope seems lost, a fated encounter awaits her. When a man with the head of a beast wielding strange powers obtains her through a slave auction, Chisei's life will never be the same again. The man is a Magus, a sorcerer of great power, who decides to free Chisei from the bonds of captivity. The Magus then makes a bold statement. Chisei will not only become his apprentice, but also his wife. This is another series overview, and Chisei's had a life full of neglect and abuse, devoid of anything resembling love. And this is a really exciting series and another volume from the Seven Seas team. Young Ladies Don't Play Fighting Games, Volume 1. I love this title too. The titles are so fun. This over-the-top comedy about delicate young ladies indulges in hardcore gaming is soon to be an anime. Karomi Girls Academy is a refined, elegant school that expects the very best in deportment from its young ladies. Aya got into this peerless rich girls institution on a scholarship and hopes to grow as lovely as her fellow student and idol, Shira Iyu. Sorry about that. But Shira Uo is hiding a terrible secret. She's trash-talking, comb-chaining, Newberry stomping, ruthless, hardcore gamer. Could a mutual indulgence in no-holds-barred video game combat grow into a deeper rapport between these two girls? I love this. I love anything that's about a girls' academy. You know there's always going to be drama and secrets and ultimately friendship. And this one is funny, so this is another fun one to get into. Next up is Gamma Dragonis, and this is from Titan Comics and Hard Case Crime. And this is perfect for fans of authentic Japanese manga. Aiko Moriyami studied religious art at the Sorbonne, but her research in occultism quickly led her down a dangerous path. When several experts around her come under attack from a mysterious entity rising from the depths of the web, she finds herself embroiled in a police investigation involving the sinister leader of an international organization. From London to Tokyo, between transhumanism and black magic, Ako is determined to solve the enigma of Gamma Dragonis and to discover how exactly her family is involved. So this one's action adventure, and we'll keep you guessing. Beauty and the Beast, Volume 3 from Seven Seas. Girl meets scary pro wrestler who's actually very sweet in this fun shoujo romance that draws on the wild world of wrestling. Unlike her friends who are into pretty boys, Momoko has a crush on a giant professional wrestler named Kuga, who plays a villainous heel on TV. But in real life, Kuga is a big softie, and he really appreciates her fan mail. In this lighthearted romantic comedy, a little crush for a very big man might just grow into something more. I love the concept of that one too. And the last title I'm going to talk about is Suppose a Kid from the Last Dungeon Boonies Moved to a Starter Town. Again, these titles are so fun, and these series are so fun. And this is from Square Enix Manga. And this is about when a village you call home exists alongside the most dangerous dungeon in the land. The word weak is completely relative. This is a popular light series. The team leaders face off in the tournament finale. Will the glory of victory belong to Lloyd's team or Rawl and Rokujo's Sorcery Academy? The outcome awaits. Later, drawn into the web of intrigue around the Holy Sword, Lloyd is forced into a one-on-one match with Philo. This takes place, the series locale takes place in a fictional kingdom of Azami, and it's an alternative medieval Europe. So very fun. That is it from me. Except for I wanted to mention these titles from No Starch Press. These are fun. These are manga guides to microprocessing, cryptography, physiology. There's one for biochemistry. And these are a great way, especially now. I think we have to really fight to get the attention of our young people to teach them things. And these manga guides make mastering tricky techniques straightforward and fun, which I also kind of appreciate as an adult. So if you go to the tiny URL on the screen, you can learn more about these manga titles from No Starch Press. Thank you. We will be sending the handout, and if you have any questions about our presentation, please email me at library@penguinrandomhouse.com. We appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. And also you can sign up for our graphic novel newsletter if you email us as well, or follow us online at PRH Gets Graphic, where you'll always get all of these updates from us. Thank you very much for joining us. As I said earlier, we miss seeing you all in person, and we can't wait to see you again soon. But in the meantime, keep in touch and ask us anything. We are always available. Library@penguinrandomhouse.com. Thank you.